So the first terraces were built here pre-Inca, and this is all for farming. Any sort of farming done whatsoever, they had to terrace it, and so they. So we're just cruising down here a little bit, and that actually what happened was, this was all an ocean once upon a time. Tectonic plates hit one another, pushed this mountain up, and there is salt that is still coming out of the mountain, and this is what is creating, when it rains, the water goes down into these salt pools. The salt pools evaporate and they get the salt from it. Check this out. Salt mines, and we are in the Andes. Look at those mountains behind us. It is just, Sacred Valley is kind of over there around the corner. There was 3 brothers, and one brother was fighting all the time. So what they did was they put that brother into a big hole in the mountain, and they blocked it in, and they couldn't go anywhere. And so that brother sat there and cried and cried and cried, and his tears started running down the mountain. And when the tears ran down the mountain, then they found that there was salt there as well, and they could use the salt. Incan, like 1,000 years before the Incas, they started building the walls and trying to make the pools that were then going to be used for salt. And then the Incas came, and of course the Incas used the salt. They could use the salt in their cooking, and they could use the salt to preserve meat. The most important transportation at that point in time was llamas. Then we're coming into the modern eras. You can see Christianity and crosses and so forth there. And here we have a modern day and the donkeys, but the donkeys are now disappearing. Donkeys it's still the wet season. We're coming out of the wet season into the dry season about a week away. Wanting to actually whiten so that they can actually farm the salt or scrape the salt off the top of the pools. Then it's been raining. The raining season actually stops next week. These pools evaporate, the salt solidify, and then they can farm the salt. What a magical place. So the Incans were using the salt and the salt water for jacuzzis way back then. Right, these top pools throughout here are actually as old as pre-Incan. And so down through the middle sort of section there is Incan sort of age, and then right down the bottom is modern pools. You cannot buy them. They are owned by families. Each, if you married my daughter, you might be able to get a pool. You can see the pool being prepared down there, and he's basically got a big hunk of something and he's smacking the bottom of that pool to make it nice and level. Very physical. Of the laboratory had different soils. So what they did was they went and got soils from the valleys. They got soils from different places, and they tried their different foods. They soil for this particular potato. They went there and they grew as many as they could, as much as evolved. Now, they only had 4 domesticated animals. They had ducks, llamas, alpacas, and guinea pigs were the only domesticated animals they had. The phenomenal part about this was they left this in 1546. It's pre-Incan, which means it's probably 700 BC. So they pretty much used this area, this technology, for 2,000 years to work out which are the best crops, what grew at the best altitude, what was the best And here there is some massive Incan ruins. There is storehouses here everywhere. They are still up in the mountains. You can see them up there, some storehouses. And there's pre-Incan as well, up on the side of the mountain here. There's pre-Incan dwellings, there's pre-Incan house up there, which is pretty incredible. The storehouses, there's no refrigeration, but they would dry out the potatoes and they would store them. Now when the Spanish conquistadors actually came and the Incas fled, the Spanish survived on those stores for 10 years. 10 years. Unbelievable, until all the stores were gone. So the Incas were prepared. They were the ultimate preppers, actually. If there was no water, there was no rain, there was no crops for 5 or so years, they could survive. Amazing. This is quite weathered, but you can see how the walls were finished with a mud base and grasses and sometimes dung all put together, and the roofing structures that they used. Probably just gardens, so flowers and gardens, and there was a temple at the very top. So this is more. Some storehouses over there. And look at this valley. Some more buildings up on the other side. The Sun Temple up the top here was only partially built because it was being built at the time that the Spanish found the place. And when they found the place, all work stopped. They just ran away.
Yeah, after finishing to polish, they polish the partitions. Other stands,
So
you can
these
see.
parts that are coming out here were never finished. These are here to carry. If it was to be finished, these were cut off and ground flat and polished. So these works were never finished. Wow. Oh wow. The Inca Trail on the other side. We're not taking that trail. We're going on the Salcantay track. But that is the start of the Inca Trail. Incredible. Amanda. Mandy.